Good evening, race fans, and welcome aboard to the Sony Cup Series round of Homestead, Miami. Could be a track of twists and turns more or less, and Ryan Acosta last year found himself in victory lane for the Allen family racing team. And speaking of the defending winner, he will start in 39th via Provo for the Mace Enterprises organization. It's really been a season to forget for that number 24 team. But speaking of the championship fight, Jake Baskinger comes into this race, the big dog himself, has a 61-point lead over DJ Kurtis and company. Kurtis needs a miracle, really everybody else behind him, they just need a Hail Mary at this rate. And really the consistency for this 97 has been so sky high, he seems unstoppable. Right now though, he qualified second alongside teammate Jesse Turner, and Turner, the owner of obviously Turner Performance Racing, has yet to find his first win this season. He's been really having a championship hangover. The defending champ has just not had much on the plate really to show for what he had last year with a tremendous amount of wins, and just momentum coming into this year just hasn't really transferred over. DJ Kurtis starts in 4th. Dejan Weeks, he's been so good this whole year. 4 wins on the calendar for this 30 team. Monster Energy Racing, they've just been so strong. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with for the years to come if they keep doing what they're doing. He starts in 5th. Dylan Schwalberg 6th. He's also got a good shot at it just behind DJ Kurtis in the point standings. Give a shout out to Peter Ronjak. Wonderful qualifying effort in 7th for this 66 team. They've really showcased a lot of good quality pace. Could they transfer it to race pace is the real question. Now, some big news coming into this. This is going to regard the Chevy camp, and that's regarding Shade Benyako Racing. So Alex Benyako will drive the number 93 for specifically this race in hopes of winning the part-time championship and gathering a charter for 2023. And in low, they're going to bring along Ryan Butcher, who will take over the 8 for this race for CM Racing. So this will be a very fun race to see where this 93 car will end up. They're looking to finish 18th or better to overtake S3 Motorsports' number 03 coming into this event. But Alex Benyako's got a whole hill to climb, starting in 40th via Provo coming into this race as well. Well, he's got 100 laps to do it, and so do all these other drivers with a fair shot at going for a Sony Cup Series win. Some still looking for their first, some trying to bring themselves back into a hunt, and others just looking for some good momentum for 2023. Let's head over to trackside. Pace car lights are off. Looks to be no issues from the back half to the front. We're just gonna make sure everybody's A-okay, and looks like everybody is set in stone and ready to go here as the pace car rounds pit road. It's Jesse Turner that's gonna lead the way, still looking for that win this season. Can he find it? Let's find out. 100 laps of action at Homestead are now gonna be underway. And Jesse Turner with a wonderful launch there, but look at Chris Dodd in the 44. Kurtis dives down to the inside as they roar off a turn 2 and down the backstretch for the first time. And already they're going to crash right behind him. Sean Harple, Jeff James, and looks to be Ryan Butcher. I thought I might have said Alex Benyako for a moment, but more or less so, they're going to be racing off a turn number 4. Chris Dodd, huge run down the inside. He's going to take the lead on the first lap. And now they've got to slow themselves down here, so hopefully nobody runs into each other. But more or less though, early shenanigans on the backstretch here. Jeff James in the 18, Sean Harple, Ryan Butcher with right side damage, and here we go. The field, oh, they're stacking up. Oh, looks like Daniel Bouchard, Dylan Young, and the gang, they're all piling into each other in the back. And oh no, Ryan Acosta has just run into the back of Blake Warren's 63 car, and heavy front side damage for the defending winner there. Tough scenes over the Mace team, and that's just bad. The worst for Ryan Acosta. He's just had a terrible season in that 24. Other than that though, let's take a look at what happened to bring out the first caution. So this is off of turn number 2. Looks like Jeff James just got into the back end of Sean Harple and spins the 14 around, clips Ryan Butcher, sending him for a slide, and really a simplistic 3-car wreck, but no harm, no foul. Really the most cosmetic damage to the number 8. That's really going to hurt them aerodynamically for the time being, and then you see them racing back down the line. Chris Dodd had such a huge head of steam in at turn number 3 and 4 you saw from the earlier footage. Focusing here on Daniel Bouchard in the 84, they're all 4 wide in turn 1, so obviously they've got to get themselves settled in. Cody slides up the track just a little bit, hits Bouchard into the path of Dylan Young. They all just kind of get stuck together. They just lock bumpers, and then the 88, it looks like Gatlin Downey and the 3 of Shane Eves, they all just kind of run into each other at that rate, and more or less though, not too much damage, but Ryan Acosta, you saw him run into the back of the 63. He got the worst end of it, just trying to check up and slow down in the nick of time, but to no avail, and really a big gash for Ryan Acosta's National Guard Chevrolet. 1 to go signal is out. Chris Dodd will lead the way over Jesse Turner, Baskinger, Kurtis, and Weeks your top 5. Schwallenberg, Onjak, Marchese, Strigley, and Arndt your top 10. Nobody retired. Acosta able to keep the car repaired. And we're back underway here at Homestead. Here's still plenty of laps left. But so far, we've had an early caution to really showcase what this race could be. But so far, we just gotta hope it's all clean from here on out. Baskinger to the inside for the runner spot. Kurtis gonna follow in line. They're gonna work together to get around Jesse Turner. Good save there. Oh man, actually Samuel Lincoln out of shape off of turn 2. In the grass though, can he save it this time? And yes, he will. Richard Johnson gives him plenty of room. Great awareness there. Great spatial awareness from Richard Johnson. Samuel Lincoln had one heck of a moment there. I thought he did save it. I just was a little bit too preempted there. He had to fully save it there. But more or less 3 wide action up front though. Kurtis tried to make it 3 wide, couldn't quite make it work. While meanwhile, Dom Caps on the inside rubbing fenders with Peter Ronjak. He's trying to climb upwards into the pack here. He has been starting near the top 15. He's already into the top 10. Now making a move on the inside of John Arndt. Strigley up to the top side here off of 4. And look at the run. The 86 is able to get off the corner. Strigley, though, he's been trying to find every ounce of weight in that car. And look at him flying through the field. He's now going through the middle in between Charles Samper and John Arndt. That's one way to get creative. Joseph Strigley making moves left and right. He is flying right now in that 86 car. And here he goes past John Arndt. Meanwhile, though, Jesse Turner trying to fend off for second. Baskinger and Kurtis making contact off of turn 4 and both able to hold on to it. And Kurtis now dives to the bottom of the racetrack underneath Baskinger. Zayden Davidson 3 wide underneath Shelley and Sanford. Will Goss trying to get himself into the top 10 on the inside of Peter Onjak. Richard Johnson in the 47. Remember, he has won a race this season. It took him long enough, though, but Richard Johnson trying to climb back up into the top 15. More or less, though, a couple of underdogs here in the back. Looks to be Allison Rain in the 29, just outside the top 20, looking for 20th underneath Jacob Hart. There's Matt DeLeo. He got in the earlier scuffle under caution. He's trying to move back into the top 20 here. But right now, you're seeing all these drivers move to and fro. DJ Kurtis back down on the inside of Jesse Turner here. Anthony Marchese, Schwallenberg running together. The Rodriguez cars respectively running well with Dom Caps on the inside. They're rubbing fenders, and into the wall goes Dom Caps. And he was running oh so well, and oh, what a hit there. Matthew Rodriguez, big pile drive into the front end of the 15. And out of the race, they're both going to go. Jacob Hart had heavy damage to his front end of his car. Caution's going to fly, and he's all over the back end of Anthony Marchese. Meanwhile, though, the field going to race themselves back towards the line. At least the first half of the field will. Here they come off of turn 4. Chris Dodd will lead the way, and Jake Baskinger's going to get turned by Jesse Turner. Into the inside wall he's going to go, and a huge gash in the championship hunt. Jake Baskinger's going to be out of the race, just like that. Oh my goodness. There's no way you can make this up. Jake Baskinger just got taken out by his own teammate off of turn number 4. And that, oh my goodness, it's indescribable to how you should feel about that if you're a TPR fan, because that could have been avoided. Baskinger came into this race 61 points over DJ Kurtis, and now he is knocked out of the race early on. He's going to finish way down the order. Where will he finish is the big question. But this is a huge gash. This is a golden opportunity for everybody else to go for this championship fight. This was the glimmer of hope they've been looking for. And this all came in tow due to Jesse Turner turning his own teammate. Here's the origin for our second caution of the day, and Looks like Dylan Schwalmer gets into his teammate. It's just like what we saw with Turner and Baskinger, but this was preceding it. And a hard lick for both cars. Dom caps the innocent bystander. He gets sailed into the inside wall, spins up the racetrack with how hard that lick was, and then Matthew Rodriguez just nowhere to go. An innocent victim there. Samuel England gets a piece of it but holds on to it. Jacob Hart, no place to go. And Dylan Schwalmer just took out the whole Rodriguez Racing organization in one swoop, just like that. Took out his owner and took out his teammate out of contention for the race win. He's still fine, but as for the other two cars, oh my goodness, they're out of it. Riding on board with Dylan Schwalmer here, you're just going to see how he gets into the back of Marchese. He has a run off the corner, just hits the 54, and oh my goodness, just takes out a bunch of cars in the process. You see that all the calamity right behind him. On board with Vince Freeze, he actually had a really good avoidance, and you're actually going to see what he does, and you see all the carnage in front of him, and just watch. Just kisses the back end of the 61 just a little bit, but even so, great awareness there from Vince Freeze, able to keep on going and get some free positions while he's at it. And here was them racing it back down towards the line. You see Turner has a run off of turn 4. He slides up the hill just the slightest and gets into Jake Baskinger, and just a huge hit just like Dom Caps's into the inside wall. And really, more or less, Jesse Turner might have just been caught with manslaughter by wrecking Jake Baskinger like that. I know it was accidental, but more or less though, that is just the last thing you ever want to do as an owner, is take out your own teammate who's leading the championship, coming into this race a comfortable gap, but now it's going to make it way less comfortable if Kurtis and the rest of them do really well in this race, because with him out, they're all going to prosper. On board with Jesse Turner, you see he sees Kurtis and Baskinger go side by side. He looks a little bit lower on the racetrack, and Baskinger looks like he holds his line just fine. Turner just slides up a little bit, the car just gets tight. Just the last thing you want to do, and it's so early in the race. You don't want to do that. As an owner, that is your worst nightmare, is to wreck your own car, your own teammate, out of the race, and especially with the stakes so high. This is going to be a huge gash for Jake Baskinger. I do want to take note of the save Samuel England had off of turn 2 earlier in the race, and you see there Sanford got hit by James Shelley. And just great car control there. I know we saw it earlier, but more or less though, you gotta give a shout out to Samuel England. That is some great car control. Just able to really showcase the skill he's got in that Red Bull. And really, again, one of those stars that could be on the rise here. And you saw that save he had in the second wreck with caps and all. Just what a race for him. It's been an adventurous one for this 82 car. We got ourselves a couple of takers coming down pit road on lap number 12 with Baskinger out of the race. Some others are just going to think outside the box. Joseph Strigley had a really good start coming into this race. He's going to come down pit road. Red Bull cars of Sanford and England bringing themselves in, as well as Ace Wild and Blake Warren. Warren does have back end damage, but Charles Sanford and more or less Samuel England does have left side damage, but they're going to try and get a little creative with their strategy, though. England going to take 4 tires, obviously going to repair the damage, trying to make sure the Goodyears weren't too scuffed enough. But it looks like they all topped off on gas here, so interesting call here, looking to extend the window just a little bit here, so makes you wonder what these drivers will do, and they're going to check up just a little bit in time. But wild racing, though, an early chaotic stint of crashes here. Chris Dodd, though, still remains as your leader. A huge mechanical failure for the 10. The car is blowing up on the Rodriguez Racing team, and oh man, they're all gonna be in shambles with Matthew Rodriguez out, Schwalmberg blowing up after causing the collision with Anthony Marchese. Some might view it as karma. Marchese knocked out of contention, and just like that, all of Rodriguez Racing are knocked out of what could have been a winning weekend for them for the Sony Cup program. But tragedy strikes here at Homestead. Schwalmberg's chances of a championship now shrunk, and with Baskinger out, he'll gain a little bit of ground, but with Weeks, Kurtis, DeMax, Lamas, a lot of drivers still within the grasp, they're all going to see this as a contender eliminated at this race, and really another opportunity to pounce. 1 to go signal is out. Chris Dodd will lead the way. DJ Kurtis second. Turner, Weeks, and Archer top 5 with Shelley Davidson. And then Schwalberg knocked out of the race there with Goss into Max there. Your top 10. Green flag back in the air. And Chris Dodd, great start there, but Kurtis not too far behind the Mercedes team. They're looking to try and gather up that ground with Baskinger out of the race. Weeks trying to do the same, but he's getting passed by John Arndt in the 43. Here comes Kurtis, right back down to the inside. He's got a good run off of 2 and into turn number 3. Here he goes. Kurtis looking to take the lead away from Dodd. Dodd fights back on the top side, and he's got the run off the corner. Here they come side by side for the lead. A big straggler of cars right behind him, though, all conglomerated together, and a hard crash there for Nick Mace. He's into the outside wall. Vince Freeze is not so lucky this time, and Cole Baker gets swept up in it. Caution comes out once again, and again the reoccurring pattern of just not a long green flag run. Cody Lamas getting held up by Anthony Marchese, same with the 13 there, and everybody else, though, they're going to race it back down towards the line. Will Goss has climbed up into the top 10. He is now in 8th for the Flipside team. Great showing for Will Goss there so far as of lap 18, so kudos to them. But will everybody else come down pit road? Yes, they will. So Dodd and the gang, they're bringing it down. Meanwhile, you see Strigley, they're not bothering to commit down pit road. They're going to stay out on the racetrack. Charles Sanford, Samuel England, Blake Warren, Ace Wild, Marchese lap car, though, and the 13 of Gatlin Downey, they will stay out on the track, more or less. So it will recycle to Strigley as your race leader, but cautions, braiding cautions early on. And, well, I think a lot of us are hoping for a green flag run. So this all stemmed from Anthony Marchese's slow number 54, and they, oh my gosh, they went 5 wide for a moment there. And then coming into turn number 1, you see Logan Cloud on the inside. They're all 4 wide coming into the corner. Vince Freeze, oh, he could have backed off a little bit, and they hooked Nick Mace into the outside wall. Big shot there. Cole Baker nowhere to go. He was just innocent on the top side, just got cushioned into the outside wall, but a big lick there for the 20. Out of the race goes Nick Mace, and Mace Enterprises also got both their cars with damage today. Cole Baker with damage. Martin Motorsports with Dom Caps out now has a damage 25 as well. 1 to go signal is out here. Joseph Strigley will lead the way over Charles Sanford, Blake Warren, Samuel England, Ace Wild, your top 5 here. They're all really on a different sequence of stops. Pace car is off here. Chris Dodd, if you're wondering, he's in 7th. Kurtis 8th. 9th is Shelley, and 10th Jesse Turner. Green flag back in the way here. Lap number 22 will begin, and Joseph Strigley, great start for him. And the real question is, what will Anthony Marchese play a role as a factor as a lap car here, and he's going to stay to the bottom. Everybody migrates to the top. Richard Johnson, though, not going to be so lucky, though, on the other hand, as he gets boxed in behind. Dejon Weeks also gets held up. Jeffrey White, good save off a turn 2 there. About got turned by James Silverfox as he brings the car down pit road, goes to 54, and they're now 4 wide in the middle of the pack. That is not really what you want to see early in this race. And they're about, oh my gosh, they're about nearly wrecking it off a turn 4. A couple cars getting loose with those cold tires, more or less. But they're all able to keep it under control. Bouchard up the track, though. Bobo Jones, Jeff James, and all the others here. And oh, there's a contact there. There goes James Shelley, hard licking to the inside wall. They're crashing right behind him as well. And Ryan Butcher nearly flipped over, and oh my goodness, big shots all around. James Shelley getting walloped around like a ping pong ball. And oh man, a huge colossal wreck at Homestead, Miami brings the caution out. They continue to breed more. And just like the caution rate, the crime rate's going to go up here in Miami. And Joseph Strigley now continues to lead the race, though Blake Warren about went for second, but now he brings the car down pit road as we're going to take a look at all that carnage commence. So Zayden Davidson, he gets into the back of James Shelley off a 2, spins him around, and watch on the top of your screen, Alex Benyako gets into the back of Matt DeLeo, spinning him into the path of Ryan Butcher. Butcher goes for a spin, and you see there Matt DeLeo Daniel Bouchard, they all just kind of spin around, and then Shady's, watch him hit the number 8. He gets up into the air, he gets airborne. Jeff James slid up into the field trying to avoid the carnage. He ends up spinning himself out. And then Logan Cloud, he just has nowhere to go. What a hit here. Oh, huge shot there. And then the 76 of Charlie Smith, just no place to go as well. A huge shot, and then Cole Baker lifts the 71 car, all 4 wheels in the air. A big collision for James Shelley all around. And then you see Allison Rain, everybody else though just trying to squeak on by the wreck. Cody Lamas though, watch him, he just almost hits the 71. Then Eves hits Bouchard right there on the left side of your screen. Just a lot going on. Ryan Acosta nowhere to go as well. A big crash here at Homestead. 2 separate wrecks then combined into one at the end of it. And a lot of fast race cars and a lot of drivers that were really just trying to survive, and teams themselves were just trying to survive are now knocked out of it too. Here's an angle of the secondary wreck there that really combined into the wreck with Davidson and Shelley, and they all collided there. You see James actually gets turned by Allison Rain. They're all just trying to get out of, they're just trying to save it. Cody gets a piece of the wreck there, Cody Lamas. And then Shelley here, watch, he got hit by Logan Cloud there, then by Charlie Smith. A big hit there for Cole Baker. And then you see Daniel Bouchard, he actually loses it trying to get the car back going into Shane Eves. He has nowhere to go, but so many cars banged up in this crash, and out of the race goes a lot of them. On board with Shade Eves to see all the carnage commence, and well, he was in the middle of it. Lifts him off the ground, and you watch the impact there, the 71. Oh, and then just so much going on, and just so many cars banged up, demolished as a result. Just a lot of torn up machinery as a result. Riding on board with James Shelley, and you're gonna have a wild ride seeing this. Oh man. On board with Dylan Young, he had a first glance view of the wreck and he avoided it with no issues. You see just everything commence right in front of him. He just minds his P's and Q's, gets all those free spots, and more chances to gather up positions. Cody Lamas says hello there and drives past by him, but more or less though, what a great avoidance by Dylan Young. 1 to go signal out in the air. Joseph Straley brings it to the lead once again. Pontiacs 1 through 3 here. Red Bull duo of Samper and England, 2nd and 3rd. Kurtis 4th. And then Dodger top 5. Green flag back in the air, and a great start for Joseph Strictly. He caught Charles Samper napping. And here comes Kurtis right to the inside. Gonna try and take 3rd away. Very advantageous move. And there goes DJ Kurtis up to 3rd. Now looking for 2nd. Underneath Charles Samper. Ace Wild getting pressured by the 91 of Zayden Davidson. Davidson's been very aggressive. Turned James Shelley earlier, and Peter Ondrack trying to hold on for dear life, but James Silverfox putting pressure on him and nearly turns him off at turn number 4 as they're 4 wide off of the corner. There goes Chris Dodd through the middle there. Bobo Jones, or not Bobo Jones, but Gatlin Downey in the middle. John Art on the inside. Zayden Davidson now making a move to the bottom of the track. Turner in the middle, trying to split the middle here, and here they come. Oh, contact made, and John Art into the grass there. He's in the infield, and up the racetrack he's going to go. This is not going to be good, and there they go. Dejon Weeks way up into the air. Ace Wild, a horrific crash in turns 3 and 4. Really mostly turn 3, and then Shade Eves decides to join in on the crash at the end of it. Will Goss knocked out of the race there. Eric DeMax has got damage to his number 0 car. And there's James Silverfox. His Mercedes is junk. And the cars are Dejon Weeks, though. A huge championship contender out of this race, too. Schwalmberg blew up. Baskinger wrecked out early by his teammate. And now Dejon Weeks is out of this race with a wreck none of his own doing. He soared into the air like an F-15 felt like. But he's out of it here. But feels as if nobody's going to be left out of this race because, oh my goodness, they just keep wrecking. And Gatlin Downey's going to bring the car down pit road. So MBM going to go for a pit stop here. So going to be interesting to see where they're going to line up and how strategy will pay into their favor. But in terms of the race leader, it is Joseph Strigley leading the way. Here's what happened. You see, this all started with Zayden Davidson, John Arndt, and Jesse Turner, and it looks like, watch Jesse Turner, he gets a little bit loose off the corner. John Arndt also slides up, but they all bounce into the path of Zayden Davidson, and Davidson almost identical instant to that of the Shelly wreck, but this time Arndt's all the way down on the inside. He's in the grass. Only so much you can do to try and slow the car down, and then he's just gonna slide up the track, and this is just a disaster waiting to happen. Dejan Weeks, Silver Fox, Ace Wild, Will Goss, these guys were all looking for some good runs. They're all just ended up piling in into turn 3, and watch the air. Dejan Weeks is going to lifts the car off the ground like a rocket ship. And Dejan Weeks, well, might as well join the Space Force at that rate, because that is a lot of air for that Walmart Monster Energy car. And so did Ace Wild. Wild had a wild ride, no pun intended. And, well, the cameramen had to duck for their lives as well for that incident, but able to hold on to it there. And then Jeffrey White, he was a victim. John Arndt goes upside down. And actually, yeah, Will Goss goes upside down, so basically 4 cars went flipping simultaneously. Eric DeMax, and then Shade Eves just tries to hit the brakes and then hits Jeffrey White at the end. And caution's just never ending here. Just seems like an endless loop, more or less. More cars are just dropping like flies here. And Dejan Weeks, the big story out of this one, he's knocked out of it too, and feels like no championship contenders left after this one. I think Kurtis is really the only one left, because he's been in front of all the carnage and not in the middle of it. Oh yeah, it looks like he might be the only one left. Same with Cody Lamas and Eric DeMax, but DeMax got in the wreck as well. But man, just so many wrecks happening to and fro. Here's another angle. This is a little bit more full speed, but it will slow down here as you see John Arndt lure into the picture, and then all hell breaks loose, and just so many cars in turn 3 crashing at the same time. In the air they go, and big wreck. That's all I could really describe this whole race. It's just been so many big wrecks at the same time, and just more cars out of it. Here's Jeffrey White's onboard here, and you're gonna see this whole wreck just basically create an explosion, more or less. And look at that, oh my goodness, just so many cars in the air, upside down, to and fro, and then Dejan Weeks lands on top of Jeffrey White, and then he gets hit by Shade Eves at the end to add an insult, and then gets stuck on the apron and towed that car to pit road, but likely he's out of this race as well. So many beat up cars, and cautions breed cautions, and there's gonna be like nobody left. Here's Alex Benyacco's on board. He's had a very quiet race, has been climbing his way up due to all the attrition, running 18th where they were to be expected, and then all just the seas parted for him. He's able to get so many spots in one go. Alex Benyacco, this team, they needed to finish 18th or better if they wanted to get past S3. They were running exactly where they should be, and now they are definitely good unless something wrong happens catastrophically to this 93 car. But Alex Benyacco has kept it clean, kept his composure, and, well, you've gotten yourselves up into a top 15, top 10 run here, and maybe even a shot at winning this race. One to go signal out yet again. Joseph Strigley has been lean this race ever since every essential caution has come out. Ever since he's gotten the lead, and he's held on to it ever since there. Kurtis in second, green flag, back in the air, and look how many cars are left on the field. And in terms of those undamaged, I really wouldn't really give you a good number, an accurate number, but Strigley, good start there. Kurtis off and away as well. Sanford leaving a gap though in third, but Turner nearly got turned up by Richard Johnson, and great save from Jesse Turner, but here we go. Kurtis going for the race lead underneath Joseph Strigley. Jeffrey White had to bring the car down pit road. Looks like they're parking it for tonight. 3 wide though, looks to be for the 4th position. Richard Johnson trying to get 2 birds with 1 stone. Kurtis leads the lap, and now here comes Charles Sanford to join in on the party. He's not out of it just yet. How about Bobo Jones? He's kept it quiet all race long, and now he's into the top 10. Great effort for the MBM number 33, Peter Ronchek, looking for a top 10 effort. Alex Benyacco is well within the top 10 right now, as here comes Joseph Strigley right back for the race lead, trying to respond. Back here, they're 5 wide off the corner, 4 wide now, and this is getting really nuts. Coming in a turn 1, they all keep it going. They all hold on to it, and that could have been disastrous Great racing there. I think they might have learned their lesson just a bit there, looks like. And Alex Benyako, though, able to be the benefactor out of this one, as here he comes into the top 5, trying to get past Jesse Turner. Chevrolet with CM Racing has really come to life, and I know this isn't a CM Racing car. Blake Warren's going to get turned off of turn 4 by Vince Freeze, and the caution's going to fly. Vince Freeze coming back onto the track. Please don't hit. Oh, and he hits Jeff James and Daniel Bouchard. Caution continue to fly. More cars going to be knocked out of it. And Jeff James is now going to be the next victim out of this race. Heavy damage to the Hyper Ice machine. And Kurtis, though, will lead the way off of turn number 4. And here they come, slowing it down again. Another caution coming out here at Homestead. And this time, Blake Warren had a really solid effort coming in. He's now got more damage than needed. And Vince Freeze got into another wreck once again. And Jeff James basically out of it. Here's Blake Warren. He's just going to get a bit loose off the corner. Freeze also slides up simultaneously, and into the wall goes the 63. And then Freeze gets clipped in the process with Warren spinning back into him. And then Freeze trying to merge back onto the track. You see, watch Bouchard and James. He slides up, and then bam, nowhere to go for Jeff James. A big shot in the outside wall goes Vince Freeze as well, and the 18. Heavy damage to both their cars. Bouchard able to kind of skate away, luckily, but he's got more damage to his 84 car than needed. Not what Bouchard wanted at all either. Here we go, we got ourselves some pit road people open, and everybody has come in. The crew's now gonna go to work, taking 4 tires. Everybody's gonna top off on fuel, obviously. You don't wanna do anything too stupid. But 4 tires for everybody else. Who will win the race off of pit road will be the big question. Joseph Strigley, good stop there, but Kurtis will beat him out, looks like. And you got, good stop by Gatlin Downey Johnson. Benyako, though, but DJ Kurtis, though, holds on to the lead. Great stop there from the 19 crew, and they will lead the way. Pace car off once again. It's DJ Kurtis leading the way this time around. Strigley second, Gatlin Downey third, and then Richard Johnson and Alex Benyako top 5. Look at Richard Johnson weaving to and fro. He tried to sight Gatlin Downey out. He sure did. He went down to the inside. A great restart for the 47. Here comes Jesse Turner. Alex Benyako boxed in behind Gatlin Downey's number 13. Sean Harpel has a fair shot. This Peter Onjak, this really could be anybody's race to win that's still alive. Turner, though, getting shot out of the way there by Charles Samper. And Gatlin Downey gets shuffled way to the top sides. They're 4 wide off of turn 4. And there goes Ryan Butcher. Butcher gonna spin around down the front stretch and just gonna kiss the wall a little bit there, but the caution's gonna fly once again. DJ Kurtis, though, comfortable gap here. Richard Johnson bowing it out for the 2nd position. And restarts. These restarts are just, at this rate, the most important to gather up the track position at this rate, but Kurtis, though, leads the way. Richard Johnson clears Strigley off of turn 4. He will take 2nd. And then Turner and Benyako, your top 5 here. The rest of the field just single file because they had crossed the line beforehand, but man, Butcher around again here for another caution. And looks like there's Chris Dodd on the outside to Max right above the 8, and Dodd gets into the back of Eric DeMax, clips Ryan Butcher, and Butcher again, a victim of someone else's messes, and no place to go, but keeps it a little kiss to the wall, but no harm, no foul. Just gotta put some sticker tires on that number 8. We are finally getting closer and closer to the halfway point of this race. DJ Kurtis still leads Johnson, though, now with a clear shot of going for the win here. And here we go once again. Kurtis with a good jump. Richard Johnson, though, is going to try and calculate a move underneath the 19. And Joseph Strigley, though, is going to be right on his heels. Turner, though, the inside of Alex Benyako. And here goes Strigley down to the bottom of the track. Samper, will he make it 3 wide underneath the Aflac car? And yes, he will. Charles Samper looking to the inside, but Turner has the momentum. Sean Harpel, good run off of turn 4. And Richard Johnson having a run for DJ Kurtis's money. He's going to try and go for the lead. Couldn't quite get there, but he's going to wait to see if Kurtis makes a mistake. And here he goes to the inside. Kurtis in the middle groove here, and what a wild top 10 this is. Peter Onjak in the 8th position. Gonna lose out actually to Bobo Jones. MBM could really have a field day today. With how many cars out of this race? Alex Benyako the same as well with that 93 car. they are looking in a prime position to overtake the 03 in standings. Well, it's a no-brainer at this rate, really, unless something catastrophic happens, as noted earlier. Well, this 93 car looks pretty unstoppable to really run a top 10, top 5 run here, because CM Racing putting all their money in this car to run competitive here tonight, and they have a shot as he gets around Jesse Turner. Alex Benyako on a mission here, a mission from God here tonight, and here comes Sean Harple to the inside. Harple's had a very quiet season though, and he's looking to try and really get a top 10 once again for this UER organization. Cody Lamas has been nowhere all race. He's on the inside of Peter Onjak and Gatlin Downey. And Cody Lamas, they've just had no pace this whole time, and could he get himself a top 10? Could he squeak his way into the top 10 as Allison Rain getting passed there? Looks to be by Eric DeMax. Matt DeLeo still alive in this race, so is Dylan Young. Ryan Butcher, who had spun earlier, is still back there with Zayden Davidson and Daniel Bouchard. Looks to be that's everybody. Blake Warren, the last car running in this race, but DJ Kurtis up front though still leads the way. Alex Benyako has closed in on second and third. Will he make it 3 wide? Wrigley slips up just a little bit, but Richard really messed up turns 3 and 4. And we got a car in the wall. Looks to be Peter Onjak in the 66. Heavy right side damage to his car, and he's going to be mired way down, and Daniel Bouchard decides to rub fenders with him, because why not? And Onjak way down the order. Gonna have to take a look at that, but DJ Kurtis though pulling away from the rest of the field. Alex Benyako putting a ferocious battle for second on Richard Johnson and Joseph Strigley. Charles Sanford trying to cling into the top 5 or really hold on to the 5th position here, but all this battling is really allowing DJ Kurtis to run off into the 9th. But as of right now though, that 19 though with almost a second lead. Here's what happened with Peter Onjak. I think he just overshot the corner, got in the marbles, and just into the wall he goes. But really what surprised me is the amount of right side damage he took from that wall. I thought he wouldn't really get much of that because it didn't look like he had a big hit, and then Bouchard just sailed it into the corner, rubbed fenders, hit the left rear quarter panel of the 66, but that is a tough break for Peter Onjak. Alex Benyako has been on a tear. He's been running faster laps than that number 19. I think the draft comes to show how powerful it is as well, but even so, this 93 car is a rocket ship right now, and what would be a day if Shade Benyako Racing could get their first win in. Really, what a story it would be if they can get their first win in the Sony Cup Series here. That would be awesome for this team. I don't think they expected this car to be this quick coming in. I know CM Racing supplied it, but I think they are very well surprised, and he has closed in the gap to DJ Kurtis. Kurtis slips up a little bit into turns 3 and 4, and now Alex Benyako is all over the back bumper of the 19, and this is just what the crowd loves. They love underdogs. They want to see Alex Benyako get another win. Here he goes to the inside, loosens the 19 up the racetrack. Here comes Alex Benyako for the lead. Richard Johnson and Sanford battling it out for third, but the battle up front heats up. Alex Benyako sails it into the corner. Kurtis, though, holds strong on the top side, though. Off of turn 4, Kurtis is going to get the run off here. Benyako's going to lead the lap that time around, and he's just got to keep the 19 down to the bottom, or down to the top here. But Kurtis just has that momentum, has that grip up top. But Benyako just holds strong on the bottom. Both cars so even. I would think Benyako's a bit faster here. He's just got to shove Kurtis a bit out of line if he wants to get this lead away. And Kurtis just holding strong. He's just playing hard to get here. He's going to lead the lap once again, but this is actually going to allow Sanford and the others to close in. We're going to have ourselves a 7-horse race for this win. Jesse Turner just on the outskirts of it. Strigley and the others are kind of falling back here, so they really need these guys to keep battling it out if they want to catch up. And Alex Benyako is just not giving up. He knows this is a golden opportunity to go for the W, and they are coming up towards lap traffic soon enough. So Alex Benyako, he's got to time it perfectly. He could use Blake Warren as a pick on DJ Kurtis. He is fighting alongside a 2-time champion, but Alex Benyako, champion of his own in the Hardy's National Series. And Richard Johnson here, he comes as well on the inside of Charles Sanford, but the two of them are just starting to pull away again. So really, even with their battling, they're still running away, and I think it doesn't really help when third on back are also fighting it out. But you see, this is just going to allow England, Bobo Jones, and Cody Lamas to come into the picture as well to get some top 5 positions. Benyako still on the inside. They are just a never-ending battle. Kurtis will clear him. And down the backstretch and into turns number 3 and 4. Here comes Kurtis. He's going to navigate around Blake Warren. That is a Mercedes partner. And Kurtis will clear Blake Warren. And now Benyako gets held up. Here comes Sean Harple. Look at the other Mercedes coming into the picture. Harple might have a shot at this win as well. Here he comes, zoomed past Blake Warren. Now he's up to 3rd. Charles Samper back down to 4th. And there's Richard Johnson. He gets held up. Blake Warren's going to hold up Jesse Turner in the process. And Turner now decides to go to the middle groove. He's going to go in between the 2 Dodges of Dodd and Johnson. Ooh, Turner a little bit loose off the corner. Samuel England says, I want to help you out, Jesse. I've got you, fam. He's going to dive it down to the middle. Bobo Jones wants to make it 4 wide. England wants to make it 4 wide. Oh my goodness. Where did he find that grip? Samuel England, brave move. He's had a wonderful drive here. It's a very unforgettable drive for this 82 car. And I know I've said it so many times. He's saved the car twice. He's gotten himself in so much wrecks. Not of his own doing, but all in all, he is doing splendid out there. Charles Samper now just stuck behind in 4th. He's kind of stagnated where he's at. But Samuel England, he's on the move. Could he pull an upset here? Alex Benyako could pull an upset here with the SBR crew. And now he's making a move underneath Kurtis once again. Benyako, can he clear the number 19? He's just so much faster. He knows he's got the car. He's just got to get around him. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another, but this is actually going to allow Sean Harple to join in with these 2 battling it out. Kurtis holds strong on the top once again, and Alex Benyako, he's just wanting to find something, hoping that Kurtis makes a mistake here. The laps are winding down though, but Kurtis still holds strong, but Benyako just looks a little bit stronger. Good run off of turn 4, loose off the corner, 3 wide right behind him though. Dodd, Bobo Jones, and Richard Johnson going at it, but Kurtis is just holding firm. He's been playing hard on the defensive, and rightfully so. He knows this win is important to him, but Benyako knows it's important to SBR as well. A Cinderella story it could be for him if he can take it, and he's still going at it. It just can't seem, the action just never ends here. We start off with Carnage, and now Benyako, he's got a better run. He's actually got better positioning here. If he can get Kurtis into turn 1, he might be able to get him. But oh man, you see Benyako, he gets the drive off the corner. This might be the case. This might be the chance Benyako needs. He needs Harple to help him out, or will Harple make it 3 wide or go through the middle? Oh, he loosened him up. It's going to be a 3 wide battle for the lead. Harple going for the inside, and the 2 Hardy's champs and the 2-time Sony Cup champs going at it here. Charles Samper just watching in glee. He wants to join in, but Benyako, this is the chance. This is the chance he needs. He's going to clear him off of turn 2. He's got the lead. Benyako, great move to the lead, but Kurtis though is right behind him. He's going to try and do the crossover. Here comes Kurtis right back down to the bottom. Good run off of turn number 4. And man, DJ Kurtis, he is not giving up without a fight. Benyako had the lead, but it was short-lived. Kurtis sails it into the corner, the 19. Oh man, Harple went for it, but he lost it. The momentum there. But the 2 Red Bull cars are now in contention for this win. Could they bamboozle the top 3 in front of them? Kurtis still holding strong on the bottom. You see Jones and Richard Johnson. I know I'm mentioning those guys. Just gotta give them a shout out here. Benyako holding strong on the top side. He led the lap this time around. But Kurtis, he's just trying every ounce of weight he can on that Pilot Flying J number 93. What a day for Alex Benyako. Can he clear him? No, not quite. Couldn't quite there, but here he comes off of 4. He's gonna have the run off, and he will clear DJ Kurtis there. Benyako now with a secure lead for a little bit though, but Kurtis, he's just right behind him, just has got to make the move down to the bottom to try and make it stick. And here he goes, right back down to the inside. And Benyako, though, he is just, what a great drive for this 93. I know I've been saying it so many times. Sean Harper, though, he's right back in it. He's in third. But man, what a toss-up between the leaders here. We've had so many lead changes. And Cody Lamas making it 3 wide here, trying to get around Jesse Turner. That car has not been the same. Turner's car's starting to fade. And this run, he was within the top 6, and now all these other guys have been catching up. Bobo Jones, Strigley, Lamas, and Johnson. They've all caught Jesse Turner here. But man, Alex Benyako, though, just holding his ground, just doing such a great job. But Kurtis, again, trying to make a move to the inside. Benyako has just got to hope the 19 makes a mistake. He's got to hope, really, Harple makes a move, and there goes Harple to the inside. And that's just what Alex Benyako needs. All he needs is those guys behind him to battle it out. And so far, with only really 25 to go, when they cross the line, Alex Benyako holds on to the lead. Kurtis with a really good run into 1 and 2. He set him up. Here he goes back down to the inside, and Kurtis is going to try and showcase his muscle again. These two are inseparable in this race. They've been going at it to and fro. Kurtis has remained up front this whole entire race, and he's got to hope Harple helps him out. Kurtis off of 4, has the run. He's got the lead here. Can he get him into turn 1 is the real question. Benyako holds strong up top. The lanes just seem so even. But Kurtis, though, he's got the center speed off, and here he comes off of 2, and he's got the lead back. DJ Kurtis back to the point. We still got ourselves a 6-horse race between Kurtis, Benyako, Harple, England, and Sanford, and Chris Dodd. Dodd started off really strong in the first half. He's remained up front this whole race, and what a wonderful run for Chris Dodd here in the 44. And he's going to try and make it 3 wide underneath the Red Bow duo of England and Sanford, but England holds strong up top. But Kurtis, though, with the lead. Benyako, will he make a move to the inside is the real question. Yes, he will. Here he goes. Benyako, good head of steam in the corner. Alex is just able to really get the car underneath the 19, and Kurtis is the same thing. Both cars are just so even. They could really just be sparring partners this whole event. And really, I don't know if Sanford, England, and the others, I mean, they have a shot. So we can't count them out. Never underestimate the competition here in the Sony Cup Series, but they just don't really seem they have the pace to really compete with the 19 and the 93. Harple's just kind of there in third. He's just really got to hope these two battle out and waste their tires, but even so, they've had no answer for really the top 2. And they're starting to really lose ground here. Sanford and England are battling it out. I don't think that really Red Bull Racing really wants them to battle out any longer, because they've got to really catch these guys up front. Really, Harple is really just waiting for these two to mess up so he can go at it again for the race lead. Benyako, though, will have the run off the corner, and he's gonna take the lead away from DJ Kurtis. Sanford, England still going at it like there's no tomorrow. The rest of these guys, single file more or less. Johnson leading the way. Here comes Jesse Turner underneath Cody Lamas here, and here he goes. That is for the 9th position. Meanwhile, how about Gatlin Downey just on the outskirts of the top 10, running in 13th for car number 13. Matt DeLeo there in 14th. Allison Rain in 15th. Eric DeMax 16th. DeMax is just trying to really get the car really in one piece at this rate. Dylan Young, I don't know what happened with the 16. He might have had damage of some sort. Looks like he got damage on the left front. Ryan Butcher 18th, then you got Peter Ronjak and Daniel Bouchard battling for the all-important 19th spot. Benyako, though, still clear of the lead here over DJ Kurtis, but Kurtis back down towards the bottom here. And just that 19, just so strong off the corner. Great racing between the top 2, and again, they're coming up towards Blake Warren, but Warren on the inside, Kurtis on the inside this time around, so actually this will help Alex Benyako a good amount. And that is just what the 93 needed. They needed Blake Warren to hold him up so that they can run away, have a little bit of distance away from DJ Kurtis. They're 3 wide right behind him, though. Bobo Jones, Jesse Turner, and Richard Johnson. This is all for the all-important 7th position. And Jones having a strong effort there, but Benyako now with a comfortable gap. 0.36 is the distance. Benyako and Kurtis are starting to put their distance away from third on back. Sanford and England have gotten around Sean Harple, but they're still battling it out. It's a double file race for the third position. England, though, able to clear, but Kurtis and Benyako, they have tandem together. They've made moves here and there, exploring the lines, but they're starting to pull their gaps here. Here comes Kurtis to the inside of Alex Benyako. Benyako loose off the corner, and here he comes. Kurtis gonna try and side draft the pilot flying J car, and down the backstretch and into turn 3. Kurtis inside, Benyako top side, still side by side off the corner. Dodd now looking for third underneath Samuel England there, but Kurtis has the inside line run. Meanwhile, Jesse Turner and Cody Lamas going at it for the 7th position, but Benyako clears way. There you see Turner and Lamas. Turner, the pole sitter, has just not really found the same speed ever since the drop of the green flag, but this is a good gaggle of cars going at it. Richard Johnson to the bottom of the racetrack underneath Jesse Turner. Turner gets loose there. Johnson kind of gets him a little arrow loose to be exact, but Lamas gets the run off the corner. Not quite able to get the run off the corner, more or less, but Richard Johnson, though, now back down to the bottom, holds his ground. Lamas stays at the top. Turner stays at the top as well in the middle group, but Zayden Davidson all over the back bumper of that number 47. But back up front, though, Kurtis back to the inside of Alex Benyako. They have come up towards lap traffic, and this will also be a decider on whether or not who will win this race, and if they can both get around the 66 and the 84 together. Kurtis now to the inside here. Benyako, ooh, got a little bit held up by Onjack. Kurtis now with a chance. He's got to utilize Daniel Bouchard as a pick, and Kurtis has been very vocal about lap cars. He hates them, to be exact. But really, what a good run in the corner by Alex Benyako. He sailed it in there. And now with only 9 laps to go in the race, Alex Benyako's got to hold off the 2-time Sony Cup champion, and he's got a buffer right in front of him. Daniel Bouchard could hold up DJ Kurtis a little bit here off of 2, and that might have just helped him a tad. But meanwhile, you see, oh, look at all those guys battling it out back there here, but Benyako and Kurtis, they have cleared the lap traffic. Kurtis really didn't have as much of an issue as I thought he would have, but Alex Benyako, though, holds on to the lead. Now 8 laps to go in the event. Here comes Kurtis, right back down towards the inside. He's just able to get the grips of his Mercedes down to the bottom. Benyako, though, the underdog story for this team. They're trying to hold on for dear life. Kurtis back down to the inside. Benyako holds strong up top, and they're still neck and neck off of turn number 4. Benyako will have the run off the corner, but look at Samuel England. He has also cleared the lap traffic, and now he's got his eyes on the top 2. Does he have enough time to catch Kurtis and Benyako? It is now come down to this. 7 laps to go in the event. England only 7/10 behind Kurtis and Benyako. He's got to hope these two battle it out, and right now that might be the case, because now Kurtis right back down to the inside. He's got the run off of turn 4, but Benyako holds strong up top. England now only 0.7 this time around. Didn't really gain much, but Kurtis on the inside. He has cleared the 93 for the race lead. A power move to the inside, and DJ Kurtis back up front. Alex Benyako, he's got to respond right back. He's got to get back down to the inside, and there he goes. Here he comes, back down to the inside. Great run off of turn 4. Look at the momentum Alex Benyako's able to get side by side across the line here. Yet again, Kurtis leads the lap that time around. 5 laps to go. They're all, I think a lot of drivers are rooting for Alex Benyako, the underdog story for SBR. What would be a time of their lives in Miami? They'd be partying indeed if they're able to pull this off. And right now, that could be the case. Kurtis stuck on the top side. England has closed in to half a second. Don't count him out just yet. Don't count out England. Don't count out Sanford. Don't count out Dodd or Harple. Anything can happen within the span of 4 laps. Kurtis, though, holds his ground, though. He's on the top. Holds it over Alex Benyako. Benyako's got to keep lunging at him. He's got to hope the 19 makes a mistake if he wants to win this race. Kurtis a bit higher this time around. Benyako back down to the inside. Good run off of turn number 4, and here they come towards lap traffic once again. And this is just what England needs. Could he take advantage of the traffic? It's down to 4/10 this time around for the 82. 3 laps to go in the race. Benyako holds strong on the bottom, Kurtis up top, and really now their fate is decided with 2 cars in front of them, side by side, Dylan Young and Ryan Butcher. Kurtis holds strong up top, has the grip off of turn 4. Can he get the momentum off? Yes, he will still lead the lap, but now it's 2 laps to go in the event. Kurtis holds the lead over Alex Benyako, and it looks like England 3/10 this time around, just a little past 3/10, but now he's just gotta hope. I don't know if England's got enough time, but right now, Kurtis holds the way, and here he comes towards lap traffic, weaves his way. Really, I think Benyako's gotta hope Butcher holds Kurtis up, and he did just there. Here they come, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go here at Homestead. Kurtis holds strong on the top, but he sails it way too deep. Here comes Alex Benyako. He's got a chance. Benyako side by side off of turn 2 and down the backstretch for the final time. Into turn 3, Benyako's got to dive bomb the corner. He's gonna do so. Kurtis dive bombs the corner as well. Here they come off of turn 4, side by side. It's gonna be a photo finish at the strike. It's DJ Kurtis that's gonna get it. DJ Kurtis gets the win. Alex Benyako comes up short by 3/100ths of a second. And Charles Sanford almost beat Samuel England across the line as well. A wild finish. Alex Benyako almost pulled the unthinkable by pulling an upset for Shade Benyako Racing. Imagine being a team in your first year, you win your first ever race in the Sony Cup Series. And this is also the potential this team has for next year. If CM Kurtis Racing, really that alliance, they work together properly, this 93 team, really those 2 cars they're going to have in the future next year, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. Ryan Butcher, all these other guys, you know, with how that team's built up, they really could have the time of their lives. They almost pulled it off. They had to finish 18th or better, and well, I think they very much, did just that. Very much an understatement. They finished 2nd. They could have won this darn race, is what could have happened. Kurtis ends up winning the race. What a run for Red Bull Racing, with the exception of Bouchard, with England and Sanford 3rd and 4th respectively. Chris Dodd 5th, Hartbull 6th, Bobo Jones, splendid run for them in 7th, Cody Lamas in 8th. For how their pace has been, nothing really came of sorts. Then you got Turner 9th, and Richard Johnson rounding out your top 10. Where did Jake Baskinger finish? That is the real question. We need to keep an eye on that. 39th. He finished 39th in the race. That is way down. That is only 4 points in contrast to DJ Kurtis' 50. And, well, I'm not a mathematician, but Kurtis gained 46 points on Jake Baskinger coming into this. With Baskinger getting knocked out by his own teammate. This is really spiced up the championship, with Dejon Weeks having issues, Dylan Schwalmberg having issues, DeMax having issues as well. Kurtis was really the big benefactor in this fight, and now we've got ourselves a championship fight here, folks. Only a few races left. Baskinger still looks to be the guy to beat, but if races like that happen, this could be Kurtis's for the taking, or anybody else. Really, Kurtis could mess up too, and that team shot themselves in the foot. The TPR crew, they've been so good this year, but it came down to a Jesse Turner mistake on his part. Blunder from that organization knocked Baskinger what could have been, honestly, maybe a clincher. Not really a clincher, but more or less a much more comfortable lead with how well this 97 team has been. But congratulations to DJ Kurtis. It's his 3rd win of the season, 27th career win in the Sony Cup Series, getting closer and closer to Dick Mace's win record here. Still 2nd on the all-time win list, but what a drive for the 19. What a drive for Alex Benyako, and a lot of good drives for everybody else. Samuel England, I would argue, driver of the day. Him and Benyako. Great climbs. Benyako started 40th in this race, and he got 2nd. What a drive here for him. What a comeback for a lot of drivers alike. A lot of underfunded teams prospered as well. Otherwise, let's take you to the race results. And as always, we'll see you next time here in the Sony Cup Series.